am a superstar.
I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that then. I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the court. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Stripes like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the
You don't get it still. I don't look down.
Buzzing more than buzz beaters. We coming live all through your speakers. Go.
Nine Inches of White Theory coming on Sunday. Said no white man ever. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. And now, Mike's thoughts. The Pro Bowl votes are in. The Pro Bowl votes are in. And Patrick Mahomes is not in it. Patrick Mahomes was not voted in the 2025 NFL Pro Bowl. The quarterbacks that were drafted in is Joe freaking Burrow, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson. All quarterbacks out of which are in the MVP conversation. So many people are up in my inbox saying, ha, 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 Patrick Mahomes sucks. Ha, 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 he didn't make it. Ha, 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 this, ha, ha, that. You guys do understand that MVP voting, Pro Bowl voting is for the fans. It is for the most popular player on the most popular team, whatever, right? But let's just be honest, guys. Let's be 100% honest. Patrick Mahomes wasn't going to be playing in the Pro Bowl anyways. Patrick Mahomes could care less about making the Pro Bowl. Patrick Mahomes could give two SHITS's less about making the Pro Bowl because they got a 3-peat pending. 3-peat pending in Kansas City. So yes, Patrick Mahomes did not make the Pro Bowl. Yes, Josh Allen did. Probably going to win the MVP. Yes, Joe Burrow did. If he was on a better team this year, would be winning the MVP. Yes, Lamar Jackson did. One of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Did that come out right? Yes, he's a very, very good quarterback. But it doesn't matter at the end of the day. It doesn't matter that Patrick Mahomes did not make the Pro Bowl, a Pro Bowl snub, whatever you want to call it, because they got bigger goals. They got better goals, and bada bing, bada boom, it is what it is. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
You don't want to be every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that thing. While I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Starts like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs. You know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA. We the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut you short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live all through your speakers. Go.
What is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckhouse here with the Man Hour Show, to manhourradio.com. Check out that Explore tab. Check out the merchandise tab. Check out the blog section as well. manhourradio.com. Guys, check out the website. It's simple, it's basic, but it gets the job done. It gets you the merch. It lets you become a pigskin pundit like Laura, Jim, and John, and Casey. But most importantly, it gives you more access to Man Hour Live, Raw, Uncut. Guys, we are live every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. East Coast time, right here at Facebook.com, and of course, YouTube.com/Man Hour, and down here in Jeffersonville, Indiana, on Big X Sports Radio 96.1. So if you guys want to get some Man Hour, tune in. But we do got a great show for you guys lined up today. On this Thursday edition, we're going to talk a little bit about the Detroit Lions and a little bit about the Minnesota Vikings. Who needs to win more? Who needs to win the Week 18 final game of the regular season? Who needs to win that game more? And is the NFC the best division in football? Legitimately, is the NFC North the best division in football? We're going to talk a little bit about that. And then we got to talk about the biggest fugazi team in the NFL, the Denver Broncos. That's right, the Denver Broncos, guys. They could very well miss the playoffs. Will they miss the playoffs? And if they do, would it be the biggest disappointment of all time? Would it be the biggest disappointment of all time if they miss the playoffs? The Kansas City Chiefs, on the other hand, are resting players. Should they rest the players? Is this a good idea? Is this a good choice for the Chiefs? And the AFC South representative will become from a road wildcard team. Mark my words, mark it down. Or is it right? I don't know. We'll talk about that. And of course, we got a little bit of fact mixed in a little bit of crap. We got to talk about the rookie of the year. We got to talk about Saquon Barkley getting benched. What? And we're going to talk about the Cleveland Browns. The DTR project is done. It is over. It's finine. It's finished. Whatever you want to call it. Whatever Greek terminology, the DTR project is done in Cleveland. James, come get your boy. James. But before we get too carried away, we got to welcome people into the chat. We got to welcome the pigskin pundits into the chat. We got Laura Johnson-Hedrick. She is a pigskin pundit. Be like Laura, guys. Click on the subscribe button. And she says, Skull Nation. What's up, Laura? Skull to you as well. 2 score to you as well. The CFO of the pigskin pundits, Mr. Jim Powell himself. He says, silver and black attack, baby. MYV Cinema Performance of the 1986. Look it up. YouTube it right now, guys. If you want some little bit of black, a little bit of silver in your life, go look it up. What's up, Jim? What's up? We also got Dennis Weiler in the chat. He is a top fan. He says, let's go Irish. So Irish with a big win. Big win for the Irish, right? And Jim Powell, it sounds like someone was stabbing that cat in the booty hole. Oh, come on now. I got my man Alpha Rob in the chat over here at youtube.com. What's up, Alpha Rob? Hoping a good day, man. Having that good day. Happy New Year to everybody. We did not go live yesterday because I had a birthday party. So we out here, we struggling. Then the evil one over here at youtube.com as well says, who got a better chance versus the Bills? Is it the Bengals or the Broncos? That's the answer how Week 18 going to go for the Kansas City Chiefs. They don't want to go up against Josh Allen yet again. And the Kansas City Chiefs do want to go up against Josh Allen. They want to have another 13-second game. Sorry, Alpha Rob. Sorry, ref of the Buffalo Bills fan. But we want another 13-second game. But who has a better chance against the Denver Broncos? The Buffalo Bills? The answer to that question is the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos have a better chance against the Buffalo Bills, to be honest. A little bit of better defense than the Baltimore Ravens. Okay, a lot better defense than the than the Cincinnati Bengals. Just learn my words here. But yeah, I would say the Denver Broncos have a better chance. And Laura says, slow it down, baby. She says, slow it down, baby. No three-peat is coming. None at all. Mahomes 7-year run. The man's had a good couple Super Bowl run. The man's not a Pro Bowl player. The man's not a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. The man's not an MVP. He's washed up. Get him out of here. Ooh, damn, Laura. Damn. This girl's on fire. Somebody get this girl a beer because she needs to cool down. Damn, girl. Sheesh. Slow it down, baby. Think of my man, Mark D. Mark has earned a top fan. Little diamond there. What's up there, Marky? He says KC is going to lose in the divisional round. They might. They might. We will talk about their 25 days of rest coming up. Not 25 days of Christmas, but 25 days of rust. Ugh, slow it down, baby. And Jim Powell says Terry Bradshaw called it, so it's an internet true. No three-peat going to happen. And to the Bills again. To the window, to the wall. To the swept drop Josh Allen's balls, right? And Dennis Weiler says BLO. I'm not for sure what that means. Bring your own lawn chair. I don't know. What does BLO mean, Dennis? I'm not for sure. Bring on the championship? I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not as hip as I used to be. And Laura says the Vikings need to take that L. Okay, Laura, we'll be talking about that. Okay. And Mark says my Broncos are making the playoffs and watch us beat the Buffalo Bills. Mark, watch your Broncos lose to the Chiefs, practice squad quarterback, practice squad running back, and half of the wide receivers out, and you guys lose by 8. I'm just saying. Lucci Harry's in the chat today as well, 2-year anniversary follower. What's up, Lucci? And he says, in between. Isn't that a George Strait song? No, that is meat in the middle. I don't know what in between means, man. Sorry, I tried. I don't know what in between means, brother. Hit me back. I don't know. And Mark says Kansas City equals fugazi. Haven't been able to score 30 points all season long. But you see, Mark, when you hold opponents underneath 18 points per game, you don't have to score 30 points to win, baby. I understand you're a football expert, air quotes there, because you're not. Let's just be honest. How many points do you got to score over more than 18 to win the game? The correct answer, guys, is 19. 19. As long as you score 19 points, you're holding opponents down to 18 points. That is a win, Mark. And when you get 15 of them in a season, that's right, 15-1, that means you're the number 1 overall seed. That means you're going back to the Super Bowl. That means a three-peat is pending. And I want to say smack you in the face because I'm your daddy because I did this to your mama. Ooh, I'm just playing, Mark. But yeah, the Kansas City Chiefs are fugazi. No, they're not. Laura says, too much man juice over there, Buck. Listen, I've been finally, if you guys are a Picks and Pundit, you know what this is all about, but I have contacted somebody to make our formula. So pineapple flavor. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, Pigskin Pundits. Let's talk about it. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Dennis Weiler says Buffalo. And Emery wants to talk shit. He says, your sister is coming over there to pick that stuff up for my brother and sister Will. What are you even talking about? This is the type of shit that I have no idea what you're talking about. She says, your sister is coming over there to pick me that stuff for you, my brother and sister Will. What? What? I shouldn't even brought that comment up. Somebody go get Emily. You can't even spell Emily, right? Emery. I don't even know what the name is. Come on, man. Do better. But guys, let's get into today's show. We got a great lineup for you lined up, and let's talk about the Detroit Lions. Let's start off and talk about the Detroit Lions. That's right. Put some respect on the name. 14-2 on the season. The Minnesota Vikings, guys, and the Detroit Lions will be the final game of the regular season in the 2024 NFL season. The winner will get the number 1 overall seed, and the loser will be a 14-win 5th seed in the playoffs, and we'll have to play a road game. More than likely have to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Nobody wants that. But I got to ask you guys this question. Do the Detroit Lions need to beat the Minnesota Vikings more than the Minnesota Vikings need to beat the Detroit Lions? Do the Lions need to win more? When you guys look at the Detroit Lions, let's just be honest. Yes, they did beat the San Francisco 49ers on Monday Night Football back in Week 17. Yes, they did. But they struggled. It took a fourth quarter comeback, trick play, flea flicker crap to win them the game. Let's just be honest. And it took the San Francisco 49ers basically saying, we're done. Fold it up. No more effort needed in this fourth quarter for the Detroit Lions to win that game. Yes, they did win, like I said. Yes, they did come back in the second half, and it looked a lot better than they did in the first half. The first half, they sucked. Detroit Lions sucked. And if you want to even take it back even a step further, since week 13, they have been giving up a lot of points on the defense. But Buck, our defense is so great. If your defense is so great, why are you giving up 20 points to the Chicago Bears? Why are you giving up 21 points to the Green Bay Packers? Why are you giving up 48 points to the Buffalo Bills? Why are you giving up 17 more points to the Chicago Bears? And then why are you giving up 34 points to the San Francisco 49ers that don't have their starting receiver, their second receiver, or their running back, second string running back, third string running back, no offensive line? Like, what? Now, I do understand, guys, that the Lions do have 18 guys on IR as of right now. But some of them are due back to come back if they make it to the second round of the playoffs. David Montgomery, Alex, Carlton Davis, just to name a few. But if the Detroit Lions do lose to the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday, the final game of the NFL regular season, how does that come out of your mouth? Ouch, that hurts. But if they lose, they will more than likely play the Buccaneers in the first round, and they've already got their asses whooped by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers back in week 4 or week 2. So, guys, the question is, do the Lions need to win the Minnesota Vikings game more than the Vikings need than the Vikings? The correct answer to that statement is yes. The Detroit Lions, guys, need to win this game. Matter of fact, they have to win. This is a must-win game for the Detroit Lions on week 18. If they want a shot to win a playoff game, if they want a shot to make a Super Bowl run, if they want a shot to win the Super Bowl, they better win week 18 so they can play in the divisional round. Because if they play in the divisional round, they got some players coming back. Their defense is getting a little bit healthier. Carlton Davis is back. Alex was a participant in Wednesday's practice, but did not practice the whole practice like he was like a half participant or like whatever. But maybe he'll be back come playoff time. David Montgomery could make a comeback come playoff time. Guys, the Detroit Lions must win this game. So what do you guys think? Do the Detroit Lions need to win this game more than the Minnesota Vikings do come week 18? Max says, need this crazy. I'm not crazy, man. What? And Laura, smartest girl in the room here, she says, Sunday Night Football, Vikings versus Lions, going to be a great Sunday night game. And there's a lot of hype around this game, Laura. Let's just be honest. There is a lot of hype around this game. I'm hoping for you Minnesota Vikings fans and the Detroit Lions fans that this game is not a defensive slugfest. Because if this game is a defensive slugfest, we're going to be like, this game's boring, this sucks, yada, yada, yada. It'll be exciting for me. I would love a 10-7 defensive slug out type of game. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong that the Lions defense don't suck. Prove me wrong that the Vikings defense don't suck. But it's probably going to be a shootout. Let's just be honest. It's probably going to be a shootout. 44-40, 48-42. It's going to be a 40-plus point game on both sides, more than likely. And if that happens, it would be a great game, and I would love to see a shootout. I also love to see a defensive slugfest as well. That's just me from a defensive mindset of person. Alpha Rob says, if the Lions lose, what seed will they beat? The loser will be the 5th seed. So no matter what, the winner gets the number 1 seed, the loser will be the 5th seed because the Commanders or Packers cannot overtake them, right? They have head-to-head tiebreakers and all that crap. And plus, they got like a game or 2 advantage, if I'm not mistaken. So 5th seed if you lose that game. Laura says, yes, they do. The Lions need to win this game more. And then Aaron Stinson wants to come at me sideways and says, you bum. Be better, Aaron. Be better. Be better. If you're going to talk shit, do a little bit better, man. Come on, Aaron. And Alpha Rob says, it's going to be a shootout. You think game is in the dome. Yes, I mean, either way, they both play in the dome, right? It is, but it is at Detroit. And both of the defense, like Alpha Rob, is not very good. Let's just be flat honest. Both of those defenses are not very good right now. Both giving up a lot of passing yards. If I remember correctly, off of the top of my head, the Minnesota Vikings were 28th, 22nd in pass defense, and the Detroit Lions were 20th in pass defense. What do both of these teams excel on right now? Good quarterback play. Actually, great quarterback play. Sam Darnold and Jared Goff have both been playing out of their minds all season long. Putting up those numbers, putting up those points, getting those dollar bills, y'all. So, yeah, I think it is going to be a shootout. But the defensive player in me, the football realist in me, give me a defensive slugfest for both terrible defenses. Mark says Detroit is going to mess it up and lose that number 1 seed. And Mark, if you are correct, the Minnesota Vikings will be a first-round exit. A first game exit. If you are correct, the Minnesota Vikings cannot beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the playoffs if they win their first round. They cannot beat the Detroit Lions. They cannot beat the Green Bay Packers. They might be able to beat the Commanders, but the Commanders probably won't make it. So we'll be talking about that in like a minute. We'll be talking about it in a minute. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. We like to call that a tease, right? We like to call that a tease. Laura says, I want the Vikings to take the loss. Although home field advantage would be awesome, but Vikings don't need that bye week. I'll be okay with 14 wins and being the 5th seed. Laura, stay tuned to that. Hang on to that, and let me explain to you why I agree with you coming up here in the next segment. Derek says, who can sneak into the playoffs from the NFC? Nobody can. Basically, the NFC is more or less locked, right? Unless the Buccaneers lose and then the Falcons win, then the Falcons can sneak in there, right? But the only spot that is up for grabs is the 4th seed or potentially 3rd seed. If the Rams lose and then the Buccaneers win, they could drop down to the 4th seed, up to the third seed, yada, yada, yada. But long story short, Derek, the NFC South division winner is the only spot that's up for grabs. The Buccaneers win and they're in. If they lose and the Falcons lose, the Buccaneers are still in. The Falcons have to win and the Buccaneers have to lose for them to get in there. What was Love's total passing yards in the first half versus the Minnesota Vikings? I don't know. I don't have the stats in front of me. Cygress. I don't know. We're not talking about the Green Bay Packers, so I did not prep to get their stats. So Derek says, what can Green Bay do not to play the Philadelphia Eagles? Pretty much nothing. I think, if the Green Bay Packers do not want to play the Philadelphia Eagles in the first round, the Commanders have to lose to the Dallas Cowboys in Week 18. I believe it's at Dallas. And then the Packers have to beat the Chicago Bears. That's the only way that can happen. Do we see the Commanders losing to the Cowboys? Probably not. Because I feel the Commanders want to play the Rams. They don't want to play the Eagles. So I think they're definitely going to be playing. But guys, when you look at Week 18, Detroit Lions versus Minnesota Vikings, who needs to win the game more, the Lions or the Vikings? I am saying the Lions. And when I say that, on the other hand, we need to talk about the Minnesota Vikings. We need to talk about the Minnesota Vikings having a better shot of winning a playoff game if they're the number 5 seed in the NFC playoff race. But as you guys know, as of right now, the Minnesota Vikings are as well as 14-2 on the season. If they win the game versus the Detroit Lions, they'll be the first seeded NFC playoff picture. In their first game, they would probably be playing the Buccaneers, the Lions, Commanders, or Packers, right? If one of those 4 teams win, that is who will be playing the Minnesota Vikings in the first round, all of which could have one playoff win And I would expect the Lions to be playing the Minnesota Vikings in that first round. Now, when you look at this, right? When you look at this, it is hard to play a team three times in a season. You know that team inside and out, but then playing them for the third time in the season in a divisional rival, it is going to be tough. But if you get the number one overall seed, that means you have beaten the Detroit Lions once so far this season in Week 18. And I think that upsets the Detroit Lions a little bit. I think that upsets them a lot because then the Detroit Lions are the 5 seed. They're playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the 4 seed, a team that beat them earlier yet this season. They're going to be bad. They're going to want to blow them out, and then they want to go blow you out in the first divisional game of the matchup. So, guys, if you are a Minnesota Vikings fan, I would say you want to have the 5th seed. I think you want to have the 5th seed because as a 5th seed, you would play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, I know you have not played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers yet this season, but you have played the Atlanta Falcons. And you beat the crap out of the Atlanta Falcons. Let's just be honest. And the Atlanta Falcons have beat the Buccaneers twice this season. Now, I understand matchups and key-ups and whatever, yada, yada, yada. But the Falcons and Buccaneers matched up pretty well. Falcons are better than the Buccaneers, head-to-head wise. Playing right now? Probably not. But head-to-head wise, they are better. They match up better. They do better. They beat them twice. You beat the crap out of the Falcons. By default, I would have favoritism. I would want to pick the Minnesota Vikings over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers if they were to play head-to-head. I'm just saying. So, guys, if you are a Minnesota Vikings fan, I understand Laura already said she wouldn't mind the loss. Give me the loss. It's okay. It is what it is, baby. But Minnesota Vikings fans, would you guys rather be a 5th seed or a number 1 seed? Obviously, home field advantage is nice. Having that bye week is nice. But when you think about it, you have a bye week. Russ, whatever, yada, yada, yada. But the team that you'll be playing already has that playoff exposure. The team that you are playing already has that playoff win. So kind of a little bit, if you think about this logically, the team that you're playing kind of has the advantage. The nerves are gone. The butterflies are kind of digressed a little bit. I'm just saying they have a little bit of an advantage, and you'd have a kind of an easier opponent. You would kind of have a little bit easier of opponent. Let's just call a spade a spade. So what do you guys think? Should the Minnesota Vikings be okay with the 5th seed, or should they go with the number 1 seed? Laura says Eagles need to drop out quickly, then I don't care who makes it. Laura says, I'm scared of the Philadelphia Eagles. I know the Philadelphia Eagles are the number 2 seed. It doesn't matter to me, baby. I don't want to play them. No way, no how. Get them out of the way. Come on, Green Bay, she says. She says, go Pack, go. John B. back in the chat today. What's up, John? He says, does anyone on earth know why Trey Lance isn't getting a look in Dallas? He played last week, John. Damn near the whole second half. To me, John, Trey Lance just isn't that good. Dallas Cowboys see it, and then a lot of other people see it. And Laura says the 5th seed's okay with me, baby. Skull! And Dustin Howard says, bruh. Come on, bruh. The Falcons are not better than the Bucs. Slow it down, baby. Dustin, what does the record say, my man? The record says head-to-head, not once, but twice this season, the Falcons beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They almost started to get a boat race in them until Baker Mayfield's like, I better play the 4th quarter to make it somewhat of a close game. Granted, that was week 6 and week 9 or whatever it was. And I get it. Mike Evans just went down. Chris Godwin was out in the second game. I get it. But the record shows right now that the Atlanta Falcons are better than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm just saying, Dustin. Now, obviously, if they were to play head-to-head right now, I would be picking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But watch that film. Falcons are better than the Buccaneers back then. Dustin says, Minnesota wants the number 1 seed. No effing doubt. I mean, of course you want the number 1 seed. maybe I'm rephrasing, maybe I'm phrasing the question wrong. I mean, of course, everybody wants the bye week. Everybody wants the home field advantage. Everybody wants to be the top dog. But it would be okay for them to be the 5th seed. I would not be sweating if I was the Minnesota Vikings if I was the 5th seed. Now, if I was the Detroit Lions and I was the 5th seed, I would be sweating bullets right now. Good Lord, would I be sweating bullets if I'm the 5th seed and I'm the Detroit Lions. We have no week's rest. We aren't getting our players back. We got to go on the road to play a team that already whooped us earlier this season. Ugh. Gabe says, what was the best NFL game this season? I don't know. I'd have to go back and look. There's a lot of good games. It's all about who your team is, honestly, Gabe. If you're a Colts fan, the best game of the season was versus the New York Football Jets. If you're a Detroit Lions fan, the best game of the season was against the Minnesota Vikings the first time around. You were down 14 points, come back and won that game. If you're a San Francisco 49ers fan, no game was the best game of the season. I don't know. It is what it is. And Laura brings the knowledge. Laura says, slow it down, baby. Open up your eyes, boy. She said the Vikings never win after a bye week. Never win after a bye week. Damn. Slow it down, baby. Dustin says Minnesota just needs to stop the run, rock that standard defense, and spread the ball around on offense. Not too much to ask. Just got to stop the run, spread the offense, run the ball, pass the ball, and score more points than them. That's not too much to ask. That's not too much to ask, is it? I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean, definitely stop the run. Make the Detroit Lions defense one-dimensional. Bada bing, bada boom. You're going to win that game, 100%. Baker Mayfield will dice up the rookie with all of his pro receivers. Versus who? The Bucks would play the Vikings or the Lions. Who you talking about, man? Who you talking about? Dustin says, what you're saying is what OSU reaped by Michigan beating them. OSU fell and got better run in the bracket for it. True. JG over there at youtube.com/Manor says the Browns versus Steelers in the Snow Bowl. Listen, I was talking about 9 inches of fury down here in southern Indiana on Sunday. We might get that 9 inches of fury, and I love it. But I don't think it's going to snow at all, guys. I'm just kidding. Game says, also don't mind my profile pic. Oh, hell no. I hate the Colts. Electric game. Dustin says, regardless of what happens, the flex game Sunday is 1970 Super Bowl rematch. I don't know. Laura says, X and O are easy to scribble on the whiteboard, just saying. You are correct, Laura. It is easy to draw out the perfect play. It is easy to write the keys to the game. It is easy to say, this is what you got to do, that's what you got to do, and don't do that. But executing it, that's a better question. That's a better thing. And Mark D says, last time Minnesota had a number 1 seed is 1998, and they lost in the NFC Championship game. Maybe 5th seed is what they need. I'm not saying they want the 5th seed. I just want to be blatantly honest about that. I'm not saying they want the 5th seed, but the 5th seed might be an easier road to the championship than the number 1 seed. I'm just saying. And Laura says, facts, baby. And Gabe says, go Minnesota. We need Jefferson with the ring. JJ needs to get the ring, says Gabe. And Dustin says, Chiefs versus Vikings in 1970 Super Bowl. Yes. But guys, would it be okay if the Minnesota Vikings got the 5th seed? Would it be better? Would it be worse? Would it be indifferent? What do you think? Now, the NFC North. Guys, the NFC North is arguably the best division in football right now. Arguably, from top to bottom, Bears are the Bears, right? But arguably, from the top to the bottom, they are the best division in football. So when I propose this question, I want you guys to think logically. Think logically about fan bases, about history, about just the overall aspect of the NFL game in general. So guys, having a great NFC North, like we are right now, is this great for football? Is football better? Is the NFL game better, more fun to talk about when the NFC North is great? When we look at the rest of the divisions in the NFC West has been bad for a long time. Let's just be honest. I can't remember the last time from top to bottom they have been a great team. I can't really remember it. Last season, yes, the Rams and 49ers both made the Super Bowl, but were the Rams really a threat to make it to the Super Bowl? No. I cannot remember from top to bottom when the last time they were all as competitive as the NFC North is right now. They always have that one team that comes out and does well. The rest are kind of blah. Same with the NFC South. Yes, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had their run. Yes, the Saints had their run. Yes, the Panthers had their run. But same with the NFC West. They kind of have that one team that trumps everybody and makes a run, and the rest are kind of blah. Now, the NFC East and the NFC North guys have the most deepest history in the NFL game. Let's just be honest. The Dallas Cowboys, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Washington Commanders, football team, Redskins, hell, the Giants. Then you got the Packers, the Vikings, the Bears, and the Lions, right? And it seems like those two divisions have the most passionate fan bases hands down. Now, we all know when the NFC East is good, football is good. People can hate on the Cowboys. People can love the Eagles, and the Commanders and Giants are just there, right? But when everybody in the NFC North is good, it is great for football. It just is, right? Now, I know a lot of you Minnesota Vikings fans are very, very thin-skinned, per se. I'm not saying I'm gonna say all of you, but most of the Minnesota Vikings fans are thin-skinned. They don't like people talking shit about their team. The Detroit Lions, much of the same way. Green Bay Packers, like it is what it is. The Chicago Bears, it is what it is, right? But when all four teams in the NFC North are decently good, guys, NFL is much, much better. It is much, much better. Because what else is there to do in the North? Let's just be honest. In Green Bay, what is there to do besides root for a good football team? Minnesota, I understand you guys got a big city in the Twin Cities and all this other stuff, but really, what is there to do besides to root for the Minnesota Vikings when they're good? The Detroit Lions literally have nothing. Sorry, Detroit. It is what it is. I've been there. I worked there. Nothing. So is the NFC North, guys, great for football? Is the NFC North being great? Is it good for football? I mean, obviously the answer is yes. The answer is yes, 100%. Laura says, more attractive to young fans with the winning fight. Go on. I enjoy this year's rivalry in the North. Not wrong. Let's move on. Let's talk about one of the potentially the biggest bust in NFL history. Let's talk about potentially one of the biggest drop-offs of the 2024 NFL football season. Guys, the Denver Broncos enter in Week 18 versus the Kansas City Chiefs as a must-win game. Let's just be honest. They need to win this game. If they win, they are finally in the playoffs. Mark can stop crying in the corner, using his tears as lubricant, and they can finally say, we made the playoffs. There are other ways for them to make it, but simply put, they win and they're in. The other ways are the Dolphins lose and the Bengals lose and then the Broncos lose, they're still in, right? But the question is, if the Denver Broncos cannot even beat the Kansas City Chiefs backups, would they be considered the biggest disappointment of the 2024 NFL season? When you look at the Denver Broncos, guys, right now they're sitting at 9-7 on this season. For the last 2 weeks, Week 17 and Week 16, all they had to do was win and they're in. They have failed to do so. They lost to the LA Chargers 34-27. They lost to the miserable Cincinnati Bengals 30-24. Yes, both of those teams were fighting for their playoff lives as well. But the Denver Broncos were favored in both of those games, and they dropped both of those games. The Denver Broncos did start the season off 0-2. Everybody pretty much wrote them off, saying, yeah, it is what it is. But then insert week 3, the huge win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and a crap win over the New York Football Jets 10-9. Since then, they have been playing pretty decent football. Offense got better. Defense was top-notch. Bada bing, bada boom. They were a great team. They matter of fact, right now, guys, they had their 8th ranked red zone offense, scoring at a rate of 61%. When they get within the 20, they're scoring tutties. The defense has been top 10 most of the season. The last 3 weeks have hurt them a lot, and they dropped down to 16th overall, but most of the year, the Denver Broncos defense has been great. And they potentially do have the rookie of the year in Bo Nix. When push comes to shove, Bo Nix is a dog right now. So, guys, if the Denver Broncos cannot beat the Kansas City Chiefs with their backups and they miss the playoffs, would it be the biggest disappointment of the 2024 NFL season? Simple answer is yes. The simple answer is I would not be laughing hard enough. I would be trolling on Facebook nonstop. Denver Broncos fans have been on cloud 9 since about week 10. Was it week 10 or week 11 when the Kansas City Chiefs beat them by the blocked field goal? Oh, the refs cheated us. We would have won that game if you would have done this. Well, right. Ever since then, everybody has been talking about the Denver Broncos, about how great they are. Since then, they've been talking about how great they are. The top 10 defense, offense is top notch. Bo Nix is the rookie of the year. Yes, and this and this. If the Denver Broncos cannot beat a practice squad quarterback in the Kansas City Chiefs, I don't know. It's not going to be Carson Wentz. I don't even know who is going to be playing. Honestly, they said they may not even start Carson Wentz. Kareem Hunt, Isaiah Pacheco, both aren't going to run the ball. Travis Kelce is out. Majority of the receivers are out as well. A lot of the defense will be sitting. And you can't be the Kansas City Chiefs on week 18 at home, must-win game. How can you have any faith in your team at all? Guys, if the Denver Broncos do not make the playoffs and they cannot beat the Kansas City Chiefs, biggest disappointment in the 2024 NFL season. Bigger than the Minnesota Vikings losing in the first playoff game. Bigger than the Detroit Lions not getting the number 1 overall seed. Bigger than the Dallas Cowboys not making it to the Super Bowl. Bigger than the Kansas City Chiefs losing in the divisional round. Guys, the Denver Broncos would be the biggest bust. But what are your guys' thoughts? Mark says, my Broncos are not missing the playoffs. Mark, they may not miss the playoffs because the Bengals will lose to the Steelers and the Dolphins can't play well in the cold. But they're not going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. If they cannot beat the Kansas City Chiefs, what makes you think they have a shot at the Buffalo Bills? Come on. Alpha Rob says, yeah, because it will be their 3rd time to get that 7th seed. Biggest disappointment, biggest bust. Laura says, not the biggest, but yes, it would suck for their fan base. So, Laura, what would be a bigger disappointment? My shoes caught in my chair. Get out of there. If the Denver Broncos do not make the playoffs, if the Denver Broncos do not beat the Kansas City Chiefs, what would be a bigger disappointment? Would it be the Vikings losing in the first round or the first game? Would it be the Detroit Lions not getting the number 1 overall seed? What would be a bigger disappointment? Derek says, so the rookie of the year and MVP of the league has to be on a playoff team? No, it doesn't, Derek. It does not. But normally, the MVP award goes to the quarterback of the best team, which right now is the Buffalo Bills. And the rookie of the year normally goes to the best stats, right? We'll be talking about the rookie of the year coming up in Factor Crap. And Mark says it is not a bust. Even if we don't make the playoffs, even if we lose to the Kansas City Chiefs 3rd-string players, it is not a bust. Would still be an approved season. We're a year ahead of schedule. And that is the fallback for every fan base right now in this rebuild mode. we're ahead of schedule. We're ahead of schedule. The Washington Commanders are making the playoffs. Well, they'll probably be a first exit as well. We're ahead of schedule. We're in a total rebuild. Listen, the Super Bowl window for any team is this. NFL, you do not plan for years ahead, Mark and everybody else out there. You plan for a year ahead. You play for this year and then worry about it the next year. It's unlike baseball, or basketball, unlike hockey. It's the year in front of you. Yes, you might have potentially growth in years to come. Yes, the fan base might think, oh, yeah, this team stays together and keeps on the upward trajectory for the next 3 years. We're a Super Bowl team. But the point of the matter is, I can plan for the year all I want. You can plan to be great for the next 6 years. You can plan to be great for the 8 years. I signed Patrick Mahomes to a 10-year deal. We're going to be great for 10 years. The point of the matter is, season changes. Week to week changes. It is what it is. The football is so fluid from week to week, month to month, season to season. It is so fluid. How are you ahead of schedule? You are built to win now. It's win now or get out of my way. And Derek says Kansas City is sitting everybody. They are. Stupid. Stupid, but we got there, I guess. Mark says the biggest disappointment would be not seeing Kansas City and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl yet again. But yet, Mark, you said that would be the biggest disappointment. But yet here you are saying, oh, they're fugazi. They can't score over 30 points. They can't do this. They can't do that. They're only beating bad teams by 1 score. And how would that be a disappointment? See, you guys were just talking. You guys were just telling me how bad the Kansas City Chiefs were, Mark. Especially you. You were just telling me how bad the Kansas City Chiefs were. They can't score over 30 points. They're only beating bad teams by 1 score. But now you're telling me the biggest disappointment would be seeing the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl again? Get out of here. I did mistreat it. My bad. Now, and Alfarab says that's what the Dolphins said, and look at them now. Exactly. You can build for the future. Don't get it twisted. You can build for the future, but life hits you fast in the NFL. Life would get you fast. John Setter's in the chat. What's good, y'all? What's up, John? Mr. Picks Him Put It himself. Mr. got a hoodie on the way for winning the NFL Pick'ems. Man. Derek says seeing ATL in the Super Bowl would be a big disappointment. I don't think Atlanta's even going to make the playoffs. Let's just be honest. But speaking of those Kansas City Chiefs, let's talk about those Kansas City Chiefs and resting all of their players. The Kansas City Chiefs guys will be resting most of their key players on Sunday, including Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Isaiah Pacheco, just to name a few. They will now have 25 days of rest before they play their first playoff game of the 2024 NFL season. When you see the Kansas City Chiefs guys resting all of their players for 25 days now, is this a mistake? 25 days, Buck? What are you talking about? The Kansas City Chiefs guys' last game was Christmas Day, December 25th, 2024. That was the last time they played an NFL football game. That was 11 days ago. 11 days ago when they played the Denver Broncos on January 5th. Yes, they did play 3 games in 11 days prior to that, but they've had 11 days off since their next game. Then, if and when the players do not play on January 5th versus the Denver Broncos, they will have another 14 days off before their first playoff game, giving them a total of 25 days off. Now, I understand both sides of the argument. I understand that they have been there and they've done that. And there's a lot of wear and tear, a lot of a lot of use on those tires for the Kansas City Chiefs for the last 7 seasons. But rust is a real thing. The surface rust is a real thing. When you look at the Kansas City Chiefs offense, guys, they have been decent most of the season. They are ranked 13th overall, but I truly feel they have not played a complete full game. They have not played a full, complete, dominant game yet this season. The last game versus the Pittsburgh Steelers was pretty close, but the defense still gave us some big plays. The defense actually, as of late, have been playing pretty bad. Now I don't know if that was the 3 games in 11 days vanilla defense type of aspect. We will see in 17 more days when they play again. But guys, is the Kansas City Chiefs making a mistake by sitting their players versus the Denver Broncos? See what you guys are saying. Alpha Rob says no rest is good. They banged up and played a lot of games. They are very, very banged up. But they've also had 11 days off since their last game. Then you have 14 more days since your next game. That's a whole month off. And the market's the whole argument, rest versus rust. Rest versus rust. And you are 100% correct, Mark. Would you rather be well rested or have a little bit of surface rust? What do you want? I mean, obviously the Kansas City Chiefs have been there, done that, and Andy Reid we trust, right? The last 7 years have been amazing for the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's just be honest. I trust Andy Reid's concept, but I'm at the same time I'm thinking it in the back of my head. 25 days is like a lot. But they do have bigger goals, just winning a division and first seed and whatever, right? Laura says, why resting? If they are that good, they should not ever take a rest. There's no rest for the wicked. Laura, the NFL season is a grind. Think about this, Laura. 20 NFL weeks have passed, right? Counting preseason, bye weeks, NFL games, 20 NFL weeks. Not counting off-season workouts and mini camps and OTAs and mandatory camps and like all that stuff, right? They've been at it since about July. That's 6-7 months of football, day after day, week after week, not a day off. Yes, they had a day off, but no like 6 sick days. Laura, when was the last time you worked 7 months in a row without calling a sick day or leaving early or coming in late? I know it's been about 3 months for like me. I called in sick Halloween day just because I wanted to. Right? I'm just saying. Alpha Rob says it should help Mahomes and Jones's ankles. Correct. But Alpha Rob, sprained ankles usually take about 6 to 8 weeks to heal. Actually, a coach told me one time I had a sprained ankle so bad that he said I would have been better off to break my ankle because it would have took less time to like heal. So, and Derek says no bonus for D Hopkins. That's cold. D Hop might play. D Hop might play. John says they'll probably still win with the second stringers. Not wrong. Not wrong. Not wrong. And John says it is what it is. The Chiefs do what is best the week or two before the playoffs. Mahomes hype injury before the playoffs. JM says, stop it. This isn't the 90s NFL. 70% of practices are walkthroughs and film study. They're not doing 2-a-days. And you are correct. They're not doing 2-a-days. And that is why a lot of these players are getting injured. If you want me to be honest about it, this is why a lot of these players, that's why we're seeing a lot more injuries, is because we don't have full contact practices, because we don't have 100% practices. Hell, on my high school team, if it gets below or if it gets above 93 degrees outside, we can't go on the turf fields because it's too hot. That is why we get cramps. That's why we get hurt all the time. Like you are right, JM. This is not the 90s football, and that's why we get hurt. I'm just saying. Laura says, I can't be put in on that topic of conversation. Being a diabetic, you never know what the next day brings. Excuses. Next man up. I'm just playing. Josh Olsen's in the chat. What's up, Josh? He says, this gives them a better chance to get to the Super Bowl. And you are correct, Josh. It does. But also, if everything holds face, you're playing a Houston, Texas team that was left for dead. Then they would have beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in the first round. Now they're going to be a little bit of momentum, a little bit of Gojo juice in them, right? The Houston Texans might jump out on you early because you're a little bit of rusty. You're a little bit of, let's ease into this game a little bit, right? I'm just saying. I'm just saying, it is a double-edged sword. Rest versus rust, as Mark says. Correct. But speaking of that, the AFC wildcard road teams. The AFC wildcard road teams. As of right now, it is the Pittsburgh Steelers, the LA Chargers, and the Denver Broncos would be the road teams. Guys, would it be out of line if I said the AFC Super Bowl representative will come from a road wildcard team, meaning the Steelers, Chargers, or Broncos? And when I was first proposed this question, when I first thought about this question, I'm like, that's silly. You still have the Ravens, the Buffalo Bills, and the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, what? Slow it down, baby. But then I got to thinking. The Pittsburgh Steelers guys do play the Houston Texans. The Steelers have struggled their last 3 games, let's just be honest. But all 3 of those losses were the 3 games in 11 days. They since then have 11 days off, and maybe, just maybe, they get in the little mind right and they're ready to do battle with the Cincinnati Bengals and knock them out of the playoffs. The Pittsburgh Steelers were my Super Bowl pick just a few months ago. Let's just be honest. But right now, I am not 100% sold on them at all. Something is just a little bit off. I'm not quite sure what it is, but it is affecting the whole team. It is including their lockdown defense and their run-dominant offense. It seems as if people are not, or they are not doing their jobs and trying to make up for other people's shortcomings. I don't know what it is, but Pittsburgh Steelers could potentially upset the Houston Texans. Now, the LA Chargers, they do play the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens do have one of the worst defenses in the league, including 30th in pass defense. However, Justin Herbert's not that all that in a bag of chips on the offensive side of things, right? He's 15th in the NFL in passing yards this season, and the Chargers as a team is 21st passing in the NFL. And the rushing attack is that much better, ranked 18th. Oh, by the way, the Ravens had the second-ranked run-stopping defense. J.K. Dobbins is back after being on the IR for the last 4 weeks, so he should be well-rested and ready to run the ball. And Lamar Jackson does have playoff issues, but the Ravens had a great win over the LA Chargers on Monday Night Football just 6 weeks ago when the Ravens were playing some of their worst football of the season. Can the Chargers upset the Ravens? Probably not. Let's just be honest. And then the Denver Broncos, Buffalo Bills. What? The Denver Broncos, guys, honestly are a team that I cannot put my finger on. When their defense is great, the offense forgets to show up. When the offense is great, the defense forgets to show up. It is what it is. They have one win versus winning teams so far this season. They got blown out by the Ravens back in week 9, and the Ravens blew out the Buffalo Bills. So by default, they don't really have a shot. Let's just be honest. They probably don't have a shot. So guys, would it be out of line to say that a road wildcard team can represent the AFC in the South? Absolutely. As of right now, absolutely. Steelers could win, potentially. Chargers won't. Broncos won't. Steelers would then would have to play the Kansas City Chiefs. If they beat the Kansas City Chiefs, then they would have to play the winner of the Bills versus the Ravens. Probably the Buffalo Bills. And it's just not going to happen. I have to renege on my Super Bowl prediction and just eat some crow. Eat some crow. Eat some crow. Alpha Rob says playoff Lamar Jackson will show up. That means a little bit of dribble down his leg, a little poo-poo in his shorts, and I forgot how to play football. Derek says, do you draft Joe Milroe if he falls to the second round and to the first? I have not looked at anybody draft picks at all yet, Derek, so I don't know. Joe Milroe is the Alabama quarterback, so I don't know. I just don't know. Alpha Rob says, it doesn't matter. Rest or not, the Buffalo Bills will go into KC and whoop that ass. Slow it down, baby. And Tedrick Webb says the Vikings 31, Lions 21. Probably not. But it is what it is. But guys, it is time to get a little bit of fact and a little bit of crap in our life. I've been traveling the old interwebs, scouring over there on Twitter, on X, on Facebook, on Instagram, on the old tickety-talky, a little bit of Snapchat. I've been seeing what the people are saying. I see what the people are saying, and we're going to talk about it. And indeed, if it's fact or if it's a little bit of crap. So, guys, it's a live interactive show, so play along in the chat. Do a little bit of fact and a little bit of crap. Let's start with the potential Rookie of the Year conversation. Let's talk about the Washington Commanders and Jalen Daniels. As you guys know, the Washington Commanders won in overtime versus the Atlanta Falcons last week, giving them 11-plus wins for the first time since 1991. Jalen Daniels had 227 yards passing with 127 yards rushing in that game. In that game versus the Falcons, he did break RG3's rookie rushing record. So, guys, is it fact or crap that Jalen Daniels is the Rookie of the Year? ROI. When you look at Jalen Daniels' stats so far this season, he has 3,500 yards passing, which is 13th in the NFL. He has 25 touchdowns, just to 9 interceptions. He has led his team to the playoffs for the first time since 2020, and since before that, 2015. So in the last 10 years, the Washington Commanders have been in the playoffs twice. However, on the other hand, Mr. Brock freaking Bowers from the Las Vegas Raiders. He is 6th in the NFL in receiving yards, totally 6th with 1,144 yards. He also has 4 touchdowns on the season on a bad team with quarterback issues. Worse than a lot of my college girlfriends with daddy issues. Bo Nix, on the other hand, is still balling out. He is just under 3,500 yards so far this season. 25 touchdowns to 12 interceptions. So, guys, when you look at Jalen Daniels and the rest of the rookie class, is it fact or is it crap that Jalen Daniels is the Rookie of the Year? And I have to say crap. I have to agree with the people in the chat. This is crap. Per my eye test and stats, Jalen Daniels is better than Bo Nix. But we need to stop sleeping on Brock Bowers. We need to stop sleeping on that tight end from Las Vegas. He has broken all types of records that we thought would never be broken. Mike Ditka's receiving yards by a tight end. Puka's rookie catch in a season. Guys, Brock Bowers has been the man, the myth, the legend in Las Vegas. The reason why people are not talking about it is because he's playing for the Vegas Raiders. They're, 3 wins on the season? They're not very good. But yet he continues to do work week after week after week. Matter of fact, let's flash back to fantasy draft season. Back in August, I drafted Brock Bowers 3rd in my fantasy draft. Yahoo said my draft grade on him was an F. You took him way too soon. My man single-handedly won me the division championship, or won the fantasy championship. Single-handedly. He did it. He said, come with me, Buck. Let's go to the promised land. Guys, Brock Bowers is the Rookie of the Year. Brock Bowers is the Rookie of the Year. Stop sleeping on him. So, guys, fact or crap? Fact or crap? Is Jalen Daniels the Rookie of the Year? I'm saying crap. And Laura says crap. Derek says crap. Alpha Rob says crap. And Derek says, I wish we only had 3 wins. Is it 4 wins? My bad. My bad, Derek. So, guys, fact or crap? Is Jalen Daniels the Rookie of the Year? I'm saying crap. Moving on. DTR officially been benched yet again. Cleveland Browns will be starting their 4th quarterback this season in Week 18 when they start Bailey Zappi versus the Baltimore Ravens. DTR said late last week that he wanted to put out a product in these next few games to push him to be the starter in 2025. So, guys, is it fact or is it crap that the DTR project in Cleveland is officially over? DTR is not going to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. Guys, fact or crap? When we look at Bailey Zappi, guys, the Browns picked up Bailey Zappi off the Chiefs practice squad just a week after Deshaun Watson went on the IR. Bailey Zappi does have 8 career starts and has a completion percentage of 63.2%, good for 2,053 yards, along with 11 touchdowns to 12 interceptions. DTR has struggled this season in his 2 starts. 2 losses for the Cleveland Browns and 2 losses for DTR. He has a 54% completion percentage in this season with 327 yards, with 0 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Just as bad as Jameis Winston, who was benched because of his bad play and will be inactive for this game. So, guys, DTR said he wanted to be pushed to become starter in Cleveland in 2025. Said he wanted to put out a product and be great in Cleveland in 2025. Is the DTR project over in Cleveland? Guys, this is a fact. This is a fact. Let's flash back to not this season's preseason, but last year's preseason. I believe it was the Hall of Fame game, Jets versus Browns, and DTR come up and lit it up. I'm like, okay. I see you, DTR. I see what's up. Okay. And then since then, he is terrible. Like, I don't know if it's a confidence thing. I don't know if it's a culture thing. I don't know if it's a coaching thing. I don't know what it is, but DTR is not a good quarterback, guys. It is what it is. I don't know what it is. He is not a good quarterback. It seems like every quarterback that goes to Cleveland right now, it's the quarterback graveyard. Besides Baker, Baker's the only one that's come out on the other side. I mean, DTR will probably never be a starting quarterback in the NFL, but he will be a quarterback that 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 years down the road, like, what? He's still on a team? He's still a backup quarterback? Much like Carson Wentz, much like Nick Foles, much like Case Keenum. They never really was that starting quarterback, but damn it, they've been a 15-year career backup on 12 different teams. This could be DTR. But guys, this is a fact. The DTR project is over in Cleveland. He is done in Cleveland. He's going to find himself on a new team, changing teams every couple seasons, battling for that backup third-string position. It is what it is. So guys, fact or crap? Is the DTR project done in Cleveland? And Terry says facts. What's up, Terry? He says facts, baby. Facts. Alpha Rob says facts. Derek says Watson lost his mojo. I don't know what's wrong with Watson, but he definitely lost something. And Laura says fact. Oh, did I say fact? You did, Laura. We heard you loud and clear. Casey says the Browns are just cursed to be a bad team. Even when they have hope, they let it go, a.k.a. Baker Mayfield. And Alpha Rob takes it one step further. Not only is this fact, says Alpha Rob, he says he's one of the worst quarterbacks I have ever seen. And that is just mind-boggling to me because of that rookie preseason game that he came in. I was like, man, okay. Well, he was from like UCLA, wasn't it? Like, okay. I didn't know much about him, but I started watching his tape after that game. Like, okay, big guy. I see you. But then, damn. And Darius says facts. I think he's Battle's Carr quarterback for next season. For a starting job. Okay. We'll see. Next up, Saquon Barkley. Mr. Saquon Barkley, Mr. 2,000-yard man himself. The Philadelphia Eagles and Nick Sirianni said that Saquon Barkley will not be playing in Week 18, despite him only being 101 yards from the all-time rushing record. This has been a record that has not been broken since 1984 when Eric Dickerson set it in 1984, obviously. So, guys, it's a fact or is it crap that the Philadelphia Eagles are making a mistake by not letting Saquon Barkley go for the record? I have very mixed feelings about this. This is a record, right, that could potentially never be broken. And just a couple years ago, it was lucky for running backs to be getting over 1,000 yards. Now, potentially, we have two running backs getting ready to go over 2,000 yards this season, but this may never be done again. Let's just be honest. Saquon Barkley, guys, has 11 games over 100 yards this season. He has 176 yards when he played the New York Giants for the first time just a few weeks ago. Actually, a few months ago, right? Now, I am mixed about this, as he may not ever have a shot to go for 2,000 yards again, let alone a record. And not only is this a record for Saquon Barkley, this is a record for the Philadelphia Eagles. This is a record for their offensive line. This is a record for, what's his face? Can't even think of the offensive of a coordinator. Fired from the Cowboys, fired from was it Chargers or Rams? Either way, can't think of his name. It doesn't matter. Is it not Jason Garrett? Dang it. I can't even remember his name. Kellen Moore, right? Is it Kellen Moore? I don't know. Either way, it is a record for everybody besides Saquon Barkley. However, I think this is crap. I think the Philadelphia Eagles are not making a mistake by sitting him, because the Philadelphia Eagles have bigger goals, bigger aspirations, much like the Kansas City Chiefs sitting their starters in Week 18, giving them 25 days of rest. The Philadelphia Eagles have a long-term goal, and that is just not to set a rushing record. That is just not to win the NFC East. That is just not to get the second overall seed in the NFC playoff race. It is to win a Super Bowl. And we said it on this show, and you guys have agreed with me week after week, show after show, month after month. Saquon Barkley is the heart and soul of the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles would not be a 13-win team without Saquon Barkley. And if the Philadelphia Eagles want to truly have a shot at the Super Bowl, they need Saquon Barkley 100% healthy. Because if you play him in Week 18, you play the what-if game. Wayne G's favorite game out there, the what-if game, right? Well, what if Saquon Barkley does go out there and rush for or attempt to get the record? What if he only gets 99 yards and falls short and gets hurt in the process? What if? Then your Super Bowl chances are out the window, done, finito, gutta. Yes, you can still sign Zeke and have Kenneth Gainwell, right? That would be amazing, wouldn't it? Yeah, right. But let's just be honest. They're not making a mistake. This is crap. But guys, factor crap. Are the Eagles making a mistake by shitting Saquon Barkley? And Laura says, fact. Let the guy have his day. I think it's stupid to hold the good ones back. Sometimes, Laura, you have to protect people from themselves. Yes, Saquon Barkley does say all the right things and listens to his coaches and whatever. Been a model citizen ever since his Penn State days, right? Been a model citizen, never gets in trouble, wife, kids, living life right. But sometimes you have to protect a man from himself. Yes, we understand he could probably get the record. Let's just be honest. Giants are not very good. They're not playing for nothing but the number one overall seed. They're looking to fold in that game. Let's just be honest. But you have to play the what-if game. What if he does get hurt? What if he doesn't get it? Protect himself, right? Protect that ego. Get a little bit of swag going in the playoffs. And Alpha Rob says crap. Because especially the Giants of all teams ain't going to let him break that record. Yep. Yep. And Casey says they don't want to lose their top weapon in the meaningless game. They're being smart. Barkley would be a loss that would guarantee Philly to be one and done. Casey, I think you're spot on. I think without Saquon Barkley, they would definitely be a one and done. Especially for the Super Bowl bound Green Bay Packers. I'm kidding. Alpha Rob says they're going to stack that line, run the blitz, and gang tackle all game long. They're going to have 11 guys in the box. Make Devontae Smith beat us. Make Waddle beat us. Make Dallas Goedert beat us. Whoever the tight end is, I can't remember. Ragtag says they made the Super Bowl without Bro. Why are you yapping about? What are you yapping about? They made Super Bowl without Bro, but they still had a Bro on that team. Come on, Ragtag, be better. If you want to talk shit, man, be better. Come on, dog. Derek says, what if New York wins? Where do they drop? Philadelphia Eagles have the number 2 seed locked in. They can't move up. They can't move down. What happens if the New York Giants win that game is they go from the number 1 seed down to the number 7 seed. That's what happens. That's what happens. And Ragtag's acting like the Philadelphia Eagles made the Super Bowl last season. Ragtag is they made the Super Bowl without Barkley. It wasn't last season, wasn't the year before that. It was 2 seasons or 3 seasons ago, 2020. Come on, man. He says that he is not the heart and soul of that team. Do you even know what you're talking about, Ragtag? Let's just be honest. Do you even know what you're talking about? Because if you do not think Saquon Barkley is the heart and soul of that team, what have you been watching? What have you been watching? They did not make the Super Bowl last year. It was 2023. It was 2 years ago. And they had a dog and a running back. Come on, man. Says they did. No, 49ers made the Super Bowl last year. Wait, Eagles before that. Derek says, I would let him play. The Dylan says the Lions need to win and the Vikings need to lose. It's a great matchup, and they don't think the Vikings need to sit their starters. I agree with that. But, guys, that is going to be it for today's show. We've had a great show, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Live, raw, uncut NFL talk every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. If you guys haven't done so already, leave a reaction, whether it's like, angry face, love, laughy face, it doesn't matter. Leave some type of emoji over there. Let us know how you enjoy the show today. Did you hate it? Did you love it? And he's like, meh, whatever. It is what it is. But most importantly, guys, hit the subscribe button below. Become a Pigskin Pundit. Be like Laura, be like John, be like Jim, be like Casey, be like John, be like Drew. Become a Pigskin Pundit, guys. And we get a little bit of the pre-show. We get a little bit of after show. You get some hoodies. You get free NFL pick'ems. And I always try to bring a smile to your face. Red Kingdom, stand up. See you guys tomorrow. We out.